I will be doing a giveaway for copies of Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam. So if you are interested, please go find the contest down in the links in the description to my Facebook group. You will just need to, number 1, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Number 2, join the Facebook group down in the description. Or 3, post a gaming meme with the hashtag ShortbreadBG3. Now, on to the video. Here are the top 5 reasons you should play Baldur's Gate 3 at launch. Number 5, starting it off here with in-depth story. In Baldur's Gate 3, you've got fully acted and voiced cinematics for almost every character that you will interact with in the entire game. Some level of story, some level of interaction beyond what you get in any other game. I know in the moments that I played Baldur's Gate 3 in the past 3 years of early access, that I have really been blown away at just how the story hooked me right from the beginning. And I'm someone who plays D&D, but I'm not someone who is into the whole Forgotten Realms lore a whole lot, maybe besides just reading the Dritz books. But it really, the game was just engaging and made me play it through it 4 or 5 different times. And none of them were exactly the same, even in early access. And there was nowhere near as much content in early access as there will be in the launch game. You start off as being a prisoner on an alien ship that's under attack by fiends and dragons in a fantasy world. If that's not of a banger way to start off a story, then I don't know what is. Number 4, true freedom and thousands of customization options. Like I had just stated before, Larian Studios gives players in BG3 true choices with consequences to their actions, which gives the players unexpected and unending freedom to play the game multiple times. Just the number of subclasses alone is now numbered at 46, and the races or sub-races you can play are 31. And rounding out with 600 plus spells and abilities, there will be no shortage of customizable powers for your adventuring parties. Origin characters is something that Larian started the tradition of with Divinity Original Sin 2 and has carried on into Baldur's Gate franchise. These are semi-customizable characters with their own unique backstory, secrets, friends, and enemies to face throughout the world. If you are looking for a slightly more cinematic playthrough, this is definitely the choice to go with as opposed to making your own custom character. Unless you are playing the Dark Urge, which is a completely customizable origin character. But that one can lead you down some pretty dark paths, so if you really aren't okay with mature gore or anything like that, I would definitely advise you stay clear of the Dark Urge. Number 3, fun gameplay. I've played a lot of single player and a bit of co-op in my time and early access, and I will say this is one of the games that you will enjoy alone or with some friends to back you up. And the fun doesn't stop for when you're in combat. It is a role-playing game. Captain Waffles and myself found ourselves dying of hysterical laughter every time we caused that gnome at that certain part of early access to go flying across the map to we have no idea where. Number 2, supporting an up-and-comer like Larian. Larian Studios is still, at least in my mind, a smaller studio, but has been rapidly growing and moving into position to be one of the top RPG developers in the gaming hemisphere. I've played most of their previous games and have loved them, but what they are doing here with Baldur's Gate 3 is truly special. And the amount of effort that they have put into the game and the amount of time they're waiting to release the game to get it right the first time. I don't know how many times it seems like people beg and whine and scream for a game to come out, and then it comes out half ready because it wasn't done yet. Either that or the executives at the company or shareholders pushed it out because they were worried about not getting enough dollars and weren't really caring if the game was completed or not. They were just looking at their pocketbooks. And recently, certain developers stated that they did not want other gaming studios or new games to be held to the same standard or level that Baldur's Gate 3 is at, currently saying that it's a ridiculous, ludicrous standard that it is setting for games, and not to expect this from other gaming studios. And you know what? I can understand that for small indie studios that aren't that are under 100 people. I get that. Wolfheart FPS, spell&shield, and Legendary Drops, great gaming YouTubers out there, have all gone into this more deeply, and if you're interested, their videos on this, I will leave the links down in the description. I fundamentally disagree with this, to the exception of indie gaming studios, as I said before. Not that they can't do great things, but their resources are less plentiful and have to pull something like this off. Bigger studios, on the other hand, have millions of more dollars, triple the staffing, if not 20 times the staffing as some other studios, and more opportunities to succeed, and recently, a lot of people have been disappointed in the quality of the games being released, mostly, as I said before, half-finished or clearly microtransaction cash grabs. The rest of the gaming industry that releases games like that have a lot that they could learn from Larian and Baldur's Gate 3. Number 1. RPG that's raising the standard. Just like I was saying before, Baldur's Gate 3 is going above and beyond what most studios are willing to do for a game. With thousands of hours of dialogue, I believe adding up to either the same length as Game of Thrones, if not double the length of Game of Thrones. With thousands of different ending permutations, with endless choices for character creation, this has got to become one of the top 3 highest selling games on Steam in the past coming weeks. If you are a fan of fantasy and big games, then this is a no-brainer. If you aren't as big on difficulty or big expansive games, then there is a story mode option that lowers the difficulty for beginners or for people who are more interested in casual play. Whatever side of the aisle you are on, this is a game I trust you will surely not want to miss out on. Now, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below what you think about Baldur's Gate 3. Will you play it? Yes or no? Let me know, and do not forget to subscribe.